So today's video, we're going to be looking at Arctic Fox in the color Violet Dream. So as soon as I started filming, it sounds like somebody is cutting a tree down or something, so I really hope you can't hear that in the background. So I have my swatches labeled 1 through 12. That's not synonymous with hair levels. I get a lot of requests to try purples and pinks over green hair or green dye over purple and pink hair. So my first one is green. My number 2 is a red. Number 3 is a natural red. 4 is black, and then from 4 to 11 we have a range that goes to platinum blonde, and then number 12 is like the toned version of the platinum blonde. I'll be taking the dye directly from the container and I'll put it at the top of each swatch. And then people do like to dilute their dyes, so I will be putting the diluted version at the bottom of each swatch. And I would like to just say, everyone's hair is different, so everyone's hair will take dye differently. Your hair may not turn out like my swatches do. And if you have virgin hair that's never been dyed before, that can especially affect how your hair takes dye. My swatches have been dyed previously. For the diluted section, we're going to do a 3-to-1 ratio. So that is 3 parts diluter, 1 part dye. And if anyone is wondering, I always just use a plain white conditioner when I am diluting. I'm gonna let these sit for about 3 hours. I'll rinse them out, let them dry, and I will meet you back here. So technically speaking, I would say you can see it on number 6 all the way up to number 12. Number 5, I don't think I see anything. Maybe in the natural lighting you can see something. And then obviously number 4, you usually don't see anything. So over the natural red, it did dye, and it did maintain a little bit of that natural look. I mean, it doesn't obviously look completely natural because it's purple, but compared to like the lighter blondes, it definitely looks a little bit more understated. It looks really pretty. It struggled to dye the red, so some pieces took the purple and then other pieces didn't really take as well for the red. And then the number 1 green swatch, that one turned out very, very purple. I'm assuming the green in the hair toned out any of the pink that is in the dye, so it looks very purple. I'm gonna say that number 10 through 12 look the most intentional, but in my opinion, I do think number 11 and 12 look the best. Once the blonde hair starts getting deeper, it kind of mutes the purpley pink. It just doesn't look quite as vibrant on these ones. And then when you dilute the dye, I'm assuming because of the yellow in the number 11 swatch, it pulls a lot more pink looking versus number 12. In comparison to the number 11, it does look a little bit more purple. Since this is an Arctic Fox dye, I did want to start with Arctic Fox for comparisons. So previously I did a mix video where I mixed together Arctic Fox's Ritual and Arctic Fox's Girls Night. And to me it actually looks kind of similar, so I did want to compare those. This is comparable to number 12, number 11, and number 10. So with my mixed videos, the top here is going to have more of one color and the bottom will have more of the other color. So if you can't tell, the top has much more Ritual and the bottom has a lot more Girls Night. And to me, the Girls Night mixed with Ritual with more Girls Night looks kind of similar to the diluted portion for Violet Dream. I will say though, Violet Dream does look a little bit more saturated, a little bit more intense and bright. The Girls Night mix with Ritual, it's really pretty, but it looks a little bit more muted. I also did a mixture where I mixed Ritual with Purple Rain. This mixture comes out a lot darker, but this is comparable to number 12, number 11, and number 10. It's super nice out where I live right now, and while I am happy about that, I just feel like everyone just wants to make all the noise in the world right now, so I hope you can't hear any of that. So like I said before, the top, so this one has more Ritual, this has more Purple Rain, so the center is kind of a more even mixture between the two, and I would say that looks the closest to Violet Dream, but it obviously holds a lot deeper, especially on number 12. Undertone wise though, it looks very close. I almost feel like if I did dilute this, it would be very similar to Violet Dream. And I guess that's really only helpful if you already have Ritual and Purple Rain, because you could probably just add some Transylvania to Violet Dream if you wanted it darker. But you know, I figured it would be a little bit helpful to see what some of these mixed would look like as well. And the only other comparison I have for today is Lime Crime in the color Pony. This is comparable to number 12, number 11, and number 10. I used to do 2 separate parts for the diluters where I would dilute it a little bit and then dilute it even more. So don't pay attention to that too much. It's not supposed to be like that. So Pony definitely pulls a lot more purple looking versus Violet Dream on my swatches looks a little bit more pink. And then something else to note is you can tell just by looking at number 10, the Pony dye is definitely meant for very light blonde hair. Once it starts getting into that darker blonde, it struggles to dye the hair a little bit, which is not a problem. But in that case, if you have a little bit darker blonde, I would say Violet Dream is probably the better option out of the two. But when it comes to the lighter swatches, you know, it just depends on what color you want. And sometimes I feel like people, when they're watching my videos, I don't know if they just see the diluted part and think that the dye doesn't look very good. That's kind of why I'll try to cover up the diluted section sometimes, because once you see the direct dye part, you're like, oh, okay, that looks good. Just something to keep in mind, because I've even done that myself. Actually, with Pony, I saw the owner of Lime Crime have Pony in her hair, and I was like, wait, that doesn't look like my swatch. And then I looked at my swatch, and once I covered up the diluted part, I was like, oh, that does look like my swatch. Sometimes it's hard to visualize things without a little bit of help. Maybe instead of using my hand, I can use like a piece of paper. Is that weird? I don't know. You guys let me know if you like that or not. Maybe I'll start doing that instead. That is all we have for the comparisons though. Now it's time to get into the close-ups. And I don't usually mention this in my videos, but I realized I should. When I do the close-ups, that is in natural lighting, and I usually will take a picture of all the hair together too, and that is also in natural lighting. I hope this video helped. If you have a request, I do have a link below to a Google form you can fill out. Just remember, I only do dyes that are not tested on animals. Thank you to my patrons, and thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.